Hi, so this is take number 6 because all of them have exceeded the time limit which I am allowed to post on YouTube. Okay, I'm just going to get to the point right here. Symptoms of undiagnosed ADHD in women. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because women are far less likely to be diagnosed with ADHD than men, but this is so messed up because women are just as likely to have ADHD than men. What does that mean? So many women are going with undiagnosed ADHD, such as me, like me. This is why I'm making this as like an awareness video, and I'm just going to list all the symptoms that I had when I had undiagnosed ADHD. Okay. So number 1. So women with undiagnosed ADHD may feel assaulted by everyday environments. Noises, sights, sounds, even her own thoughts. An example of this is if I was studying in a study room, I'm in first year uni, someone would click their pencil, someone would be having a side conversation beside me, someone could even be lightly tapping their foot. No one else would hear that sound. I would hear it. I would literally stare at them until they stopped because I just cannot work with any sound. It's crazy. It's like, it's not that I don't like it. It's like I can't. Malls, crowded buses, Forever 21 specifically. With people with ADHD, I would have anxiety attacks. You get very, very nervous, and in my case, I get very sweaty. I never liked crowded shopping malls. I always felt physically exhausted after, and I would always need to sit down while my friends continued to shop, or just in Forever 21, there's so much going on, so much stimulus, I guess that's what it's called. And you know, sometimes I would actually get like a headache from everything going around me. Yeah. They are easily distracted and move from one unfinished activity to the next. Okay. Self-explanatory. They spend a lot of time thinking about new systems and trying to get organized. Specifically, this was me. I would always try buying an agenda, or sorry, people are just talking in the hall. Hope the camera doesn't pick it up. So I'd always try different systems to get organized. You know, I tried a new list system. I would try buying a whiteboard. I use so many freaking organization systems. You use them for a day and then you forget about it, and then your room becomes a pigsty again. It's a terrible cycle. You know, 5, you think you're crazy. A lot of the time I just thought I was crazy. I thought I was stupid. I was hard on myself. I would cry a lot and no one knew, because you just think you're just stupid, incompetent. It's very, very hard mentally. And yeah. So in women, a lot of the time hyperactivity is internalized, and that's why they're not diagnosed. Like in me. A major life event such as college might be the breaking point. Women with undiagnosed ADD may drop out of college or change schools or majors several times. This is me. Before I was diagnosed, I was planning on dropping out next semester. And I'm not dropping out anymore, just to clear that up. And change majors several times, which I have. A week before, or change major schools, a week before coming to Western, I was actually supposed to go to another university, but I changed my mind last minute and was like, nope, I want to go here instead. And indecisivity, aha, that is very common in women with ADHD. Number 2, I may abuse drugs or alcohol. This is true. I could never just drink. I would have to get blackout drunk. I was prescribed antidepressants. I took 4. I was supposed to only take 1 day. It's like you do it, but you don't realize at the time it's a big deal. You're just like, oh, why? It doesn't really matter. Which now I realize is horrible. Very bad. Very, very bad. in general, they might not act much at all, which is so true. I would literally sit down. It could be for like 6 hours at a time. You sit down intending to do math homework, and I didn't join any clubs, and I would not hang out with friends because I'm like, I have to sit down and do my homework. And then 6 hours later, you're like, wow, I did no homework. I hung out with no friends, and I went to no clubs because I did nothing. And it's really hard. And you're like, what? Okay, you know what? I'm just going to move on. I will make another video for other thing, more ranting later. I don't know what number this is. Piles. They have piles everywhere. In my case, my room was disgusting with piles of clothes and piles of receipts and piles of random objects. It was just a mess. But the only thing is, I always hated it. I don't know if this is common amongst all girls with ADHD, but my room was always a pigsty, and I've always hated it, and I was always so embarrassed by it, and I would not let people in my room. It's just embarrassing. Like, I've always felt like I was an organized person. I just never knew how to stay organized, which is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird being organized but super messy, and it's hard to explain. But I've always hated myself for being super messy, and sometimes I would cry because I'm like, why can't I just be organized? I hate this mess. It's really mentally fatiguing. I don't know if that's a proper grammar, but we're just going to go with it. 6, they may express impulsivity by compulsive shopping or eating. I used to wait until midnight I used to have a $100 limit on my debit card. So I waited until midnight, and then I would spend another $100 online. Or eating. I could never have one cookie. If I had one cookie, I would need to have 10. If I had opened a bag of chips, like a family size one, I would have to finish it. That's why at one point they thought I had a binge eating disorder. They wanted me to go to therapy. So glad I didn't, because I never ate due to emotions. I just ate because I couldn't stop, which is hard to explain, but a symptom of ADHD, impulsivity. The high maintenance look. The high maintenance look is not for me. I often forget to brush my teeth, comb my hair. Pretty gross, but I would just forget. And I really didn't have anything routine in my life. You forget names, you forget dates, specifically dates of birthdays of family members, and I felt so awful because they think you're selfish and self-absorbed and you just don't care, or people you meet that you can't remember their name like a week later. People get offended, and you know, I used to be really hard on myself, and I used to cry, and it was really difficult because you're like, why can't I remember their names? And everyone just thinks you're a selfish person, but it was honestly not that. And I couldn't remember my best friend's birthday, and I still can't remember my mom's birthday, and people think you're really self-absorbed and selfish. But you know, in private, I would always be really upset and hard on myself for that. Spelling, I'm horrible at spelling. I still spell my brother's name wrong, which is horrible, but I don't know, it's like I don't know, it's so weird. It's so weird. Songs, I can't memorize. I don't know one song by heart. If you asked me to recite any song by heart, I could not do it. You know, usually girls with undiagnosed ADHD are also are first diagnosed with anxiety or depression or an eating disorder. I was diagnosed with all 3 of these. This is what they thought I had before I was diagnosed with ADHD. But then it turns out they were all caused by my ADHD, which was hard. And then I'm kind of wrapping up now, and I just want to say, like, some signs from a young age that you could have had ADHD. You know, there's a higher chance of you staying back a grade, having a learning disability, wetting the bed at a young age, and having colic as a baby. I've had all of these symptoms, that's why I'm listing them. Well, thank you so much for listening. These were just my symptoms of undiagnosed ADHD, and if any of them apply to you, or even a few, I highly recommend seeing a doctor, psychiatrist, or even a psychologist, just because living with undiagnosed ADHD is so shitty, and I don't think anyone, even if you're a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter, it's irrelevant. I don't think anyone should have to deal with it or live through it. I'm murmuring. All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.